How do you fire your clients and grow your business? It sounds strange, right? Well, I want to share with you a conversation I was having with my client Cora-Lynn just a few weeks ago.
I have an exciting milestone to share if you guys want to hear.
Yeah, share. Yes, of course. What is it?
We hit 108,000 yesterday.
What? Pardon, what? What? I'm so excited.
I'm like,
Sorry,
oh,
you
I'm crying.
share this?
Like, I'm genuinely crying.
This story isn't just about money. It's about becoming truly the hero of your own story. So Cora-Lynn's entrepreneurial journey started when tragedy struck.
A big turning point for me when it came to actually deciding to start a business to, try and pursue what we might call the freedom life was losing my dad back in 2015. Things just didn't sit the same anymore. I, had always wanted to be literally Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. I was like, gonna be Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, hopefully a little bit nicer. But it just never ended up working out that way. I was working as a social media strategist. I did PR for a little while, and I was just always really resentful is probably the word, that I was working so many hours, making $60,000 a year, which was great, but I was making other people millions of dollars. And something about that just didn't fit right.
On a mission to make her mark and build her own business, Cora-Lynn decided to venture into entrepreneurship and use her skill sets as a website designer, despite some serious uncertainty.
It was in January of last year, after literally not knowing if I was going to pay my rent. I had left a massive client contract on the table in the beginning of December, and I literally did not know if I was going to pay my rent on time at all. I had a website that I'd previously built on WordPress. Hate WordPress now, but that's what we had. That was what we were working with. I put it up on Instagram for $500. I sold it that day, and I had 12 other women reach out to me asking for website design services.
And a business was born. But as I'm sure you might be able to relate, that business soon turned into a beast.
So I spent all of last year working 80 plus hours a week doing anything tech related that anybody wanted me to do on the internet, just to keep a roof over my head, to keep myself afloat and alive during what was also a global pandemic. And then realized that I had to do something different. I realized in November that I was exhausted, overworked, tired. I hadn't seen my family in a year. I built 42 websites and 18 different course portals, but I was depleted and exhausted, and my clients were out there making money, which is good, but I was still really tired. So I decided something had to change.
After losing her dad, Cora-Lynn knew exactly how important time and her own freedom was to her. And she decided she wanted to make a change. And similarly to what I shared with my own journey in last week's video about how I transitioned my business model, Cora-Lynn did the exact same thing. She wanted to take her experience and her expertise in website design and package it into an online course so she could stop working with people one-to-one.
And so I just decided, I have nothing to lose. I'm exhausted. I'm working 80 hours a week. What's the worst thing that happens? I make a course and it doesn't go well. So we might as well try this. And the knowledge ended up empowering my clients even more. And that just allowed me to really double down on it, on the course, on the path of letting go of clients. And also knowing and trusting them, if they wanted it done for them, that I just wasn't right for them. I wasn't doing that anymore.
To put this in perspective, I want to share something that Cora-Lynn shared with me and our Authority Accelerator members not too long ago. She said, "Win, I'm shaking as I type this because honestly, I cannot believe this is my reality." She joined the Authority Accelerator in January, and she said, "My goal was to let go of all my one-to-one clients, website and systems design by April 30th. With my course, and as of yesterday, I completed my final project for a one-to-one client." We celebrated. This was on May 12th. In all of 2020, after leaving a $100,000 contract on the table to pursue my own agency, I did $128,000 in sales and easily worked 80 hours per week the entire year. I'm so grateful for the guidance in this program, as the revenue from my course just hit $108,000, and I'm working 30 hours a week, and I still haven't touched YouTube. I'm speechless, I'm crying, I'm a mess, and I'm deeply grateful. Keep going, keep freaking going. So she did more in 4 months than she had done in the entire year of 2020 with her online course, working a fraction of what she was working before, without a launch, without paid advertising, without a fancy funnel, without YouTube, and she got exactly what she was looking for.
Yeah, the biggest difference is time, but more than time, the biggest thing that I feel, and this is just, it's just more at peace. Like, it's just more peaceful. I'm not like worried about paying my rent. I'm not worried about whether or not my client's going to be attacking my inbox on a Sunday night at 10 p.m. when I'm trying to sleep. I'm not stressed about deadlines that are coming up. It's just a totally different way of being, where like I get to be instead of do.
Cora-Lynn joked with me that a few weeks ago, she was just lying on her couch staring at the ceiling, and she said it was the greatest gift to just do nothing, and she wasn't really used to it. But now she had this business that was working for her when she wasn't working. But obviously, the greatest gift of all out of this transition and this new business that she's created is a lot deeper than that.
We think we have time. We think we have a ton of time with our loved ones. We think we have a ton of time with our family. We think that time is this abundant thing somehow, and yet we're also always telling ourselves that we don't have enough of it, but we waste it all the time. And this just means time to me, which is the most valuable thing that I think any of us have. It's the opportunity to be with my friends, be with my family, and get to know those incredible people, my mom, my new stepdad, my brother and his 2 kids, and my best friend in Michigan who just had her 4th baby. Like, it's the time to be with them, to see other human beings as they are and who they are, and watch them grow, and to be able to do that without stress it's the greatest gift. It's everything. It's everything.
You keep making me cry. Growing a business isn't easy. It can be exhausting, it can be stressful, and it can be super lonely, which is why it was really important to me, because I've been in that position, to create a space for people like Cora-Lynn to find a community of people they could thrive with. And not just that, but also create a new normal for themselves, and more than that, a new definition of what success really means.
Yeah, you know what? The community is unlike anything that I think I've been in before, in terms of, I don't know how you do this, but I'd love to know. But how many wins that they're actually celebrating, like you've built a community of people who are like not afraid to show up and be like, look at me rocking my shit over here. Like, they're just not afraid to do that. And I think that there are not a lot of communities out there where you're so inspired by other people. But more than that too, there's also a lot of people like myself who go in there and are just like, I'm stuck. Help me, please. Anybody. And somebody always comes, and those people who you talk about who are like hitting the $250,000 months and scaling to millions, like those are the people who are answering you. And that's who I want answering me.
You've seen a lot of those people who are supporting each other inside the group on this channel before. And I think one common theme I'm sure you've noticed is that there is no such thing as overnight success when you're an entrepreneur. I mean, Cora-Lynn's journey started in 2015 after a tragic loss. And she really is, like I said, a true testament to becoming the hero of your own story. And more than that, committing to the process and the journey, and really committing wholeheartedly to what she wanted her life and her business to look like.
Yeah, I just have to say thank you so much for literally changing the standard of what an online program is. I've seen a lot of terrible ones. I know people who've been burned by a lot of terrible ones, and I was nervous of that, and you have far exceeded my expectations in every way. Your team is incredible, and the work that you're doing is one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. So thank you.
Thank you. That means the world. Sometimes it's not just about finding your why. Sometimes it's about figuring out who you're doing this for. I'm very clear on what I'm here for and who I want to serve and help. And Cora-Lynn knew exactly who she was doing this for. And if you want to see more success stories and inspiration like this, inspirational stories, you can click the link below. I have a whole playlist on my channel with more stories just like this. And if you're at a place where you're ready to make a shift and you want to turn your experience and your expertise into a scalable online course and create a life and a business that you truly do enjoy, I invite you to click the link below and book a call so you can speak to a real human being on my team, and we can let you know how we can support you in our Authority Accelerator program. If you enjoyed this and you really loved Cora-Lynn's story just as much as I do, give it a like, show it some love, be sure to subscribe and share it with somebody who needs to hear this, and leave a comment below with your biggest takeaway. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Be sure to check out this video next.